young player who loves to be an athlete and run 12 consecutive trips. That's not easy to deal with. I mean, obviously he makes free throws, he gets rid of that, but that's something for the first time now we saw tonight employed defensively.
Yeah, well, I mean, me and 3D, we wish we got fouled 12 times in a quarter. But no, that's just something for him. It's psychological. You know, you go in the gym, you put the reps up, you shoot 100 or 200 a day. They'll stop doing that. And the point that Dennis made, that this is a small forward.
Yep.
They're doing this too. And we're used to seeing centers, like you said, Shaq, Ben Wallace, those kind of guys. So for him, all he got to do is get mental, step up there and knock him down. He is a hard worker, and I'm sure he'll improve his free throw.
You know, DZ, when you sit there and you look at this situation from a defensive standpoint, when you're a team like the Wizards, if you're another team, are you looking at this and saying, you know what, we should do that? Or are you looking at it and saying not so much? Because that's kind of what happened with Shaq, right? Once somebody started doing it, everybody's like, okay, that's the right thing to do.
Well, when you get in the fourth quarter and you're around that 8-minute mark and you're down, say, 7 or 8, you say, can I use this to get back in the ball game? Because we know once you get to the 2-minute mark, now you got to go back to playing traditional basketball. With that being said, if Ben Simmons is attacking his man and that his man's in foul trouble throughout the game, you may not be able to do that because some of your best players may already have 3 or 4 fouls. Now you have to bring somebody off the bench to employ that kind of style, then it may not work. Let's get to the free throw line in the off seasons or after practice and work on that. Because what we're watching right here, Booz, he can get to the rim whenever he wants to. He can get to the paint whenever he wants to. But Hemi, where did he go? That play right there, there's not too many power forwards or centers that can stay with that hesitation move. But now, let's face it, they will start fouling you until you start making more free throws.
And the thing that's so impressive watching him, Booz, for me, is the poise on the floor. This guy didn't play at all last year. So the whole year he's stewing, thinking about this moment, but he hasn't been overwhelmed by that at all. He's embraced that.
No, he has embraced it. He's playing great. I mean, he's the rookie of the year. And the great thing about it is he's playing alongside another star in Embiid, and their chemistry is starting to grow. So they're going to be fun to watch for a long time.
Yeah, you know who's been fun to watch? The Rockets. That Harden guy.
Make it rain.
We got a good beard on set.
Yes, we do.
Their beard. I wasn't talking about your goatee.
Nah, my goatee, baby.
Feeling sorry for ourselves. You know, no one's coming to save us. The only way we'll get out of it is we'll tighten up in that room in there, which we've done. We'll band together, go keep competing, and the opportunity will come, and we'll get our win.
This is kind of hard to understand, right? The roster's a little depleted, and Conley's hurt. Last year, everybody, and I joke about to take that for data, who didn't want to go play for Fizdale? And now management is saying, I wrote down, we needed to have a change. Did you look at this team, DZ, and say they needed to have a coaching change?
No, not at all. You tell them you take away Tony Allen, you take away Zach Randolph, you take away really the heart and the grit and grind what they had built over the last 5 or 6 years. And now you bring a lot of young guys who are still learning how to play defense every night, how to share the basketball, and how to be a two-way team, so to speak. But that team was built on hard toughness defense each night, sharing the basketball, and your general goes down, Mike Conley, and you expect to go out and win in the Western Conference each night? It's hard to do, so I did not see this coming. I'm like most people in the NBA, I was caught off guard.
When a coach gets changed mid-season from a player's standpoint, how difficult is that? And now how about the pressure on Marc Gasol? Because everybody looks at it from the outside, and I think they almost admitted it right in those bites, saying we need to be better and put him in better positions. There's going to be a lot of eyes now on Gasol, how he plays.
Yeah, it is tough. You know, you go through a mid-season change like that, early season, really. And for Marc Gasol right now, because he hadn't played in that one fourth quarter or a couple games late, all the eyes are going to be on him. He's a great player. We all know that, all-star player. And but the rest of those guys got to step up too. You know, it's not just his responsibility. And they're also playing without their floor general and Mike Conley. They have a whole new roster out there with a lot of young guys, what 3D just said. So it's going to take time. They're in the West. This is the NBA. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you because Mike Conley's out. No one's going to feel bad for you because your coach got replaced. They're coming to get wins out here. So to that point, it may take them a little while to get that first dub.
You know, you think about changes and things of that nature. We watched New Orleans last year, right? We wanted to see how would these guys with a full camp. I know when Alvin was here with us during the offseason, how would that change things?
He wanted this. He wanted a chance to lead a team. And boy, is he leading the team, 3D. Like, he got these boys playing. Hayward goes down. All these guys step up. Tatum steps up. Brown steps up. Smart steps up off the bench. And give those guys credit because sometimes you can fold. They didn't. They step up to the challenge, and they're playing great.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. Everybody worried about the defense, right? You lose Crowder and Bradley, and their team defense, that coaching is not so bad. With Brad Stevens on the other side, Phillies is fun to watch right now, I think, for us as anybody with all of what they do. we saw the hack-a-dude, as you call it.
Baby. There you go.
With Ben Simmons. This guy, speaking of outdoing expectations, everybody was like, yeah, we don't know after that year we didn't see you last year. If he stays healthy, he's going to be the rookie of the year. He's been that good.
No question about it. The expectation is there. The process is now, and both guys are playing well. So the question is, how do you figure out, you take the back-to-backs off Embiid with the hack-a-do, Simmons. Ben, we love you to death. Yes, keep attacking the paint. Don't worry about a jump shot yet, but I do need you to get in that gym after practice and get your free throws down. You're a small forward. You're not a center. You're not a power guy where they're trying to slow you down. This is a true situation where they're using the rules the right way up to the 2-minute mark, and for a small forward to go through that, it kind of bothers me. You say to yourself, get in that gym and at least get your free throws together in the offseason. Now you work on your jump shot.
Yeah, they are must-see TV. They're great. They're my kids' favorite team to watch right now. You got a 6'10", 6'11" guy running the point, basically, set everybody up. Joel Embiid looks, wow. Like, the game is very easy for him. Hopefully he can stay healthy because we want to see him do this for the long haul. But no, Simmons is great. He's definitely the rookie of the year, almost a triple-double every night. But, yeah, he got to work on this free. It's all in the wrist.
Leave it, baby. Leave it up there. Leave it. There you go.
You think the game's in good shape with Simmons, Embiid, Brown, Tatum. That Giannis guy, he's pretty good.
Oh, yes, he is.
The Greek Freak put 44, as I mentioned, up on Portland the last time. We saw such an elevation, DZ, in his game last year. Are you still seeing growth now as this year goes on from him?
No question about it, Casey, because being a leader and being one of those guys the first week of the season, we're saying MVP. You're like, oh, wait, slow down a little bit. Because then he cooled off a little bit. Now he's starting to rev it back up, and that's how you truly become a superstar in this league, because you have to do it every night. And when the bullseye's on your back, you have to know when I'm taking my man, when's the double team coming, and when am I setting up those shooters around me to make players better. And I think he's starting to figure that out.
Yeah, he does. There's so many different things that are good on the floor. But what I like is every time you hear him talk, he wants to improve his game. You could tell that the work and the grind are there for him as a competitor to want to get better.
Yeah, you can tell he's improving on every aspect of his game. He's scoring more. He's putting his team on his back. He's rebounding more. He's assisting more. He's getting more block shots. But he's humble. You can see he's very hungry to improve. And what better guy to learn from than Jason Kidd, who made a Hall of Fame career, had great players to play with him, played with great players. And for him to be able to teach him how to carry a team and take on that responsibility of being the best player every night, like 3D said, it's pretty fun to watch. We're watching him grow up right in front of our eyes.
Now, I'm sure you've never heard us say this before, but the Blazers' backcourt is pretty good. It's kind of important also because they're still looking for that third guy. We saw Nurkic step up. They're still waiting. Now, look, they don't.
The American Express Halftime Report is brought to you by American Express, the official card of the NBA.
Lakers up at the break. Young players stepping up. Julius Randle inside, getting it done for the Lake Show as they go on a run in the second quarter to take the lead. American Express Halftime Report, as we've got a good one here on NBA TV. Casey Stern, Dennis Scott, Carlos Boozer. Lot to get to. Let's talk about the young players. You and I got to see Ingram a little bit at Summer League, got a little bit of a snippet, but the growth now into this season from last year's apparent. We're seeing it tonight.
No question about it, Casey, and I have to use that word again, confidence. And with the young guys today, you try to figure out, how do I get my game off? Yes, I was a high draft pick, but I have to be more assertive. So this year, to your point, from Summer League, putting the ball on the floor, we had a players-only game last week. This is the kind of game you said, this young man plays this type of aggression boost. You say, all right, this is a guaranteed cornerstone for the future. The question is, for me, don't stop. Use this quarter, use this half, and say, this is how I have to play every night so Coach Luke Walton can believe in me and play through me like we're seeing here in this first half.
Yeah, expectations were big for him. I mean, we forget about that now, Booze, because of Ball. But this is a guy who, other than, growing the body, the skills set is already there for him to be a star.
Yeah, he's always had the skills, man. We always saw it all the way back when he was in high school and obviously at Duke. He can play inside, outside. They used to call him Baby Durant when he was younger. Now he's actually going heads up with Durant in this game. They both kind of challenging each other a little bit. And then I love the contribution from Randall and Clarkson off the bench, giving them a huge lift right now.
Yeah, I think when you talk about Randall, he was the recipient of one of the 5 assists in the first half for Lonzo Ball. And look, everybody talks about the shooting and all of that, but as long as he's getting teammates involved and running the floor, that's still his most important role on the team.
That's his job as a point guard, to get everybody involved, get everybody good touches, give everybody a chance to be successful, put them in good positions, and he does that very well.
The one thing you see a lot of times in this first half, I was thinking about this watching this 3D, is that the Warriors play tight in the first half. A lot of teams kind of hang in with them. Then what happens? That third quarter, we see that one 19-2 run, and it's like outside of that, the whole thing looks fine. Young team, Lakers at the break. I know you feel good, but what's got to happen for them to make sure to avoid that one big run you know is coming from Golden State?
Great point, Casey. I think Brian Shaw and Luke Walton understand that. I think that's the message they're preaching there in halftime. First 5 minutes. We talk about the all-time Blues. Many teams you've been on.
Yes.
One of those coaches, one of those veteran players saying, come on, guys, first 5 minutes, let's get some stops, let's make shots. People at home say, well, that sounds kind of easy. Well, we know Golden State's defense is going to pick up those first 5 minutes of that third quarter so they can get their run going. So as a young team, same confidence, same ball movement, make some shots.
Yeah, exactly, because the champs are going to come out like, okay, we're not playing our best basketball. We had a good dinner last night at Mastros or whatever. Let's start playing our game. Yeah.
Oh, you ain't kidding. Hey, look, if you've never had the butter cake at Mastros, you haven't lived.
Ooh, you're missing out.
You also probably haven't hit the gym for like 3 years to try and work it off. You get hacked pretty badly on that, but not as bad as hack a dude.
Hack a dude. See, that sounds better.
No, it does not.
It doesn't sound better? You keep Draymond off the glass. Now you get that rebound. Give yourself a chance.
Yeah, it's the only thing he's missing, right? Because the confidence, we talked about this during halftime.
Yes.
The confidence level of Ingram, and you could see this as the season began. That play with Durant, look, that's KD with the ball. Okay, we're talking about as money could be. To go around the back with that strip clean and kind of head in his 3D would say getting some cookies.
Cookies, baby, yes.
I mean, that's a heck of a defensive play.
Yeah, he made a play, man. He stepped up. He carried his team on the offensive end and came down, made a great steal at half court while KD's just trying to probe, run the clock down. He took a chance, got the ball. A great play right there. I mean, this is my thing. If I'm Luke Walton, I need this from you every night. You may not have 30 every night, but I need this confidence that we've been talking about all night long. I need this mentality from you every night.
All right, we know KD brings it every night, hasn't played every night, been in and out of the lineup. He was there this evening. What was a heck of a game, one of the better ones we've seen so far here in the regular season. Here he is after the win.
I just said, wow, it's a KD here. That was a nail-biting finish. How did the Warriors persevere?
Well, we just stayed poised down the stretch. Coach called some good plays for us to get buckets. They did a great job of denying us and switching everything, but we scored 127. We gave them 123. We don't want that, but some nights it's going to be like that, and we fought through and was able to get a good win.
You had the emotion on your face, too. It looked like angry face. How does a game like this bring out the competitor in you?
Man, I just not playing the last couple of games. I just wanted to come out here and pose my will and put my fingerprints on the game. And, you know, it was an exciting game. Steph made some huge shots in overtime, and that got us all excited and riled up. And we want to take this momentum on the road, well, to the East Coast.
Tell me about Steph and how clutch he is in moments like this.
Well, he just keeps shooting. You know, we always tell him to stay aggressive. And, you know, I think Coach did a good job of taking him out earlier than normal. And he regrouped and came back and was great for us and sealed the game for us. So we're going to need that going forward when we messed up and guys are in foul trouble or, you know, we just can't get anything going, and he came out and gave us a big spark.
Does a game like this propel you for what you have on the road coming up?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, a win on the road against a young team in a harsh environment like this, man, it was definitely preparing us, and hopefully next game is even better.
Thank you, KD. 5 games left.
KD talking about missing the last couple of games and continuity-wise, look, I know, Booz, obviously this team is just such a machine at this point that we've seen Curry miss, they win, Durant is out, they win. But for those guys, when you miss even a couple of games, is there a little bit of kind of a disjointed effect, not having kind of at least that flow and that mojo going into the game?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we've all been there as players where you miss a couple games with your guys, with your teammates, and you're a little rusty coming back or you're a little out of the flow, like you said. But also because you practice so much, you play so much, you know, 1 day, 3 or 4 days, 2 games, it won't be so bad. You saw what KD did tonight, huge game, great one-on-one matchup with him and Ingram. And a player like him who trains himself so well, he's going to snap back into rhythm pretty quickly. So I thought he had a great game tonight.
You know, he talked about how the Warriors kind of take this win and go on the road. Let me get the other side. We talk about Ingram and the growth and all of that. For Luke and this group, as a young group, what do you learn from a game like this? Whether it's the mistakes, the positives, what do they take from what we just watched now moving forward for the Lakers?
Well, I think from Magic to Rob Pelinka all the way down, they're going to watch this game and say, we do have some young competitive kids. They just have to grow up some more, help them in late game situations where they can be more successful, and down the stretch, make some free throws. 1 free throw missed by Ingram, little things like that you can go back into the film room and fix. But the fact that you competed down the stretch, Ingram with the big steal on KD, you're saying to yourself, wow, we're in the ball game. We withstood that third quarter run where most times they blow people out. It's a good ball game tonight. You just came up short down the end.
You know, Booz, isn't this good for Lonzo Ball, too? Forget about just where the game is. Having Ingram show that he's growing, get attention. Randall, we're seeing growth.
Yeah.
Nance is back in. We're watching Clarkson play well. So that all the attention, we're going to do that. That's what we do, right? Because he moves the needle. We get that.
Of course.
But how much does it help for a young player to at least have teammates that are taking some of the brunt, some of that load?
Oh, it's huge, man. A lot of pressure's on him. You know, high draft pick. Magic making the move with Russell to Brooklyn to create space for Ball to play this year. A lot of pressure on the kid, but when you got your teammates playing like they are, Clarkson's playing great off the bench, Randall great off the bench, Kuzma, when he's in there, is great. Ingram has a 30-point game tonight and leads them in scoring. It's huge for him and confidence-wise to pass the ball, to be more confident. I thought he was more aggressive tonight in spots. He did a good job of getting his teammates involved, but I like seeing him more aggressive and more that's the word of the night. Confidence is the word of the night.
Confidence.
When we see him confident and aggressive, he looks really good to me.
A third double-double, last 5 game points and assists for Lonzo Ball. And you hate to look ahead to, you know, look at this point in the season into free agency, but every Laker fan that you talk to, and I know in Easy's case that means on Instagram or on Facebook, where we're lucky he talks to us. But every Laker fan you talk to, they're so excited about, you know, all the money they have. If you're a free agent and you're watching this team, you get excited. Look, LA is going to do it enough, but they've got a lot of pieces now. It's early in the process, right, to use that term, but you could see a lot of the pieces in place now.
All the pieces in place. Guys want to play the right way. The key word, the confidence, we're seeing it now. Each game you see the guys taking one step further of being that thing we think they can be. But now you're saying, to your point, Casey, if you add the right veteran to this team, how good can they be to the big picture? But let's slow down for a minute and let these guys continue to show us what they showed us tonight to finish up this season strong.
I know a guy who they could have probably...
I don't know who you're talking about. I don't have a clue.
The King of New York.
Who?
Remember? Not Enos Kanter. We've got much coming up on NBA TV this week.